they say that money is the root of all evil? Indeed it is. People will do anything just to get a cheap buck. Especially for someone who is supposedly a undercover detective leading themselves a group of outlaw criminals. Especially if it's someone that is recognizable, that the victim is aware of and knows exactly. Realize that the person was good but ends up being a complete idiot. Why? Just to try and get a cheap dollar. Mel Gibson as an actor. You can say what you want about him as a person. You can separate the art from the artist. The guy knows movies. Whether it's acting or directing, writing, whatever the case may be. Mel Gibson is a fucking performer. I've seen a lot of movies that he's portrayed in. It can be good, bad, mediocre. No matter what the film is, he knows how to deliver a performance. No matter how ridiculous or mediocre or basic that the particular performance is, he knows how to deliver because he makes you buy and believe into his character. This movie is one of those circumstances where you can actually buy into his character and understand him, who he is. Mel Gibson is fucking fantastic. Liev Schreiber was in this movie. Donnie Wahlberg was in this film. It's crazy to me that Liev Schreiber, he went to go on to play as Donovan. A very successful television series. And then you had Donnie Wahlberg, who's playing a numerous amount of movies. He had a small role in this film. But I am a fan of New Kids on the Block. But I shall digress right there. And then you have Gary Sinise. I probably said the name wrong, and someone is fucking bothering me. But I probably have said the name wrong. But the guy knows how to act. Good guy, bad guy. In this one, he was a son of a bitch in this film, and I loved it. I love a role that can give me good heat. I mean, good heat to where I can believe into the role that he's doing, where he's a real son of a bitch piece of shit, where he's trying to be good, but in the end, he's just a real asshole. I love that kind of heat in a movie. But yes, you have Tom Mullen, who is played by none other than Mel Gibson. He's rich, he's wealthy, he is a successful businessman and entrepreneur. Him and his family all of a sudden went out on a day in the park. Well, I believe there was a science fair going on. Then out of nowhere, the son Sean was captured. Detective Jimmy Shaker, who was played by Gary Sinise, who is a undercover cop. He leads a group of criminals who hold his son for a $2 million ransom. Calls up Mullen consistently under a alias, dark, deep voice, trying to tell him exactly what he needs to do, the instructions to follow wherever he has to go to a place. Don't bring any weapons or send somebody after him. Don't bring no cops. Just you and you alone. Bring the money, and then we will give you your son back. This was nothing more but a fucking cat and mouse game with poor Tom Mullen. It was just nothing more but a mind fuck completely, to where he literally just goes against any odds to get his son back. But I'll get to that in a second. Agent Lonnie Hawkins, who was played by Delroy Lindo, and his team do what they can to get Mullen's son back. However, though, his team doesn't necessarily do much except take the little tape recorders, record the phone calls, and just try their best to literally capture everything, especially decipher who the corporate's voice is. Now, when push comes to shove, Mullen literally is trying to do anything, even go to the inevitable, to get his son back. Now, you all know that movie Taken. This movie was literally taken before Taken even existed. Like, before that whole entire idea of Taken even came about, this was that movie. You want to know what I really admired about this film? Because I haven't seen this film. Actually, no. I have never really took a really good look at this film. I've heard of it, but when I saw this, I was like, God damn, this film was so fucking good. I mean, this was good because you know why? This was storytelling, where as the film started off where something where you think it's not going to be too exciting, but the film just kept getting better and better and better. Why? Because it pulled you by interest with what the story is. Because, like I said, this was nothing more but cat and mouse. Mullen was all scared. He was crying. Then all of a sudden he got pissed. Then all of a sudden he started to grow a pair of balls on him to where he ended up going out. And this is my favorite scene in the entire fucking film, and one of my favorite scenes now in general, where he literally goes on the news station. He has the money in cash in various dollar bills. He goes on the fucking local cable access news, calls out the fucking target, tell him, if you want this money, this is the closest you're going to get. Now, the fucking bounty is on you. Fucking brilliant. That is brilliant, where instead of Mullen being the fucking victim, he is now turning the tables to where, I'm going to get you, motherfucker, without even barely doing a goddamn thing. That to me is clever. He later even said, when the news came back, when the fucking police and his wife were saying, what the fuck are you doing? What the hell are you doing to even do this type of shit? You are crazy. In my mind, nothing more but fucking balls on this guy. Because he is desperate to get his son back. Hell, even where he talked to the phone where he thought his son got killed, when in fact it wasn't. It was just making his fucking mentality even more unstable. Gary Sinise. I've already said it before, this guy is a fucking badass. I loved how he was playing as such a deep, dirty piece of shit in this fucking film. Trying to play the good guy, even where he had to take out his own fucking crew. He had to take out his own fucking crew to get the reward. Why? Because, hey, playing as the fucking alias ain't gonna work. So what is he gonna do? Kill his own guys and pretend he is the fucking hero in the line of duty as a cop to capture and rescue his son. The kid who played as Sean, he actually did a very good job. Didn't have much dialogue, very small role, but when he was playing as the victim and all helpless, he did a really good job with that. You couldn't help but feel fucking bad. You want to know what this movie was? It's like when you look at professional wrestling in a way where you got two guys. They get into a square. One guy is getting bullied. He's someone that you feel sympathy for because the fucking big bully. Look at the movie 3 O'Clock High. Got the fucking pipsqueak kid who is defenseless, harmless, and he's getting all fucking bullied. That's Tom Mullen. He's the one who's getting bullied and picked on because the big fucking bully, Detective Jimmy Shaker, is the one who's bullying, manipulating, picking on him. Why? Because he wants to fucking ransom. But once that fucking scrawny kid, Tom Mullen, ends up growing himself a pair of balls to defend himself against the bully being that fucking baby face against the fucking heel, you root for the baby face to beat the fucking heel. Tom Mullen was able to beat the heel, right? He was able to beat Detective Jimmy Shaker. It took a while because the thing is that it kept milking it. The writing, the whole story kept milking it because, like, when is the confrontation going to happen between these two? And the way they kept milking it to where once Tom Mullen saw that Detective Jimmy Shaker wasn't the right guy, because he saw his kid's reaction. His kid fucking pissed himself when he saw Jimmy Shaker. And once Mullen saw that, he knew he got the fucking culprit right in his fucking hands. Took a little bit, but the crazy thing is that once they got to the bank to deposit, or take out the money that is owed for Shaker as his reward, that's where all hell breaks loose, where it becomes a fucking showdown. Guns blazing, going through a glass window. Christ. Lots of blood. Jimmy Shaker was a fucking son of a bitch who was trying to get his cash. Why? What was his motives? Because he was desperate. He was fucking desperate trying to get under good graces. Whether it's being a policeman, whether it's being a fucking dickhead. He was desperate. He was fucking desperate. This movie is absolutely phenomenal with storytelling. It's the writing, the whole milking, the cat and mouse game, the mind fuck, the fear, the showdown, the last final minutes, Mel Gibson as a phenomenal actor, the sympathy. This film contains everything that you would like to see in a film. Whether it's emotion, story, suspense, bad guy, good guy. all of it. So, folks, that's going to have to do it for my little talk on Ransom. Now, as for what I give this movie, well, the high praise that I have given it, just that little small decimal. I give this movie a solid 4.5 out of 5. Absolutely fantastic. Now, as for why that little point, like I said, in the opening, it took a little bit, but eventually got there. So, just a little nitpick. So, folks, that's the talk about this movie. If you have seen Ransom, let me know down below your thoughts about it, and ciao for now.